Hi guys, Mr. Hark here. So, here to talk you through how to hit a knuckleball free kick in football. So, a knuckleball is basically a way of striking the ball where we want to try and minimise the spin. And when we do that, basically it makes the ball do unpredictable things in the air. So, first thing we want to think about is facilities and equipment. So obviously we're out here in the park. Obviously it's something to do outside. Secondly, you want to get your boots on. Definitely want to get your boots on, just because the way we need to strike the ball. We'll talk a little bit about that later. Thirdly, and most importantly, we want to consider the ball that we're using. So I've just got this Puma ball here. This is absolutely fine. What it needs to be quite a modern ball. It needs to have these smooth panels on it so that we can get it to move about in the air. As long as it's not a crusty old ball, should be absolutely fine. So there's not one strict way of hitting a knuckleball. There are plenty of examples from the professional ranks where players hit them slightly differently. I've picked out three: Cristiano Ronaldo, David Luiz and Rashford. So take a look.
The two brave guys are parked in Carrick here because you think he might smash it there. He smashed it.
It is David Luiz. Oh, extraordinary goal!
And it's an astonishing goal.
So as you can see, they all hit the ball slightly differently, but there are a set of kind of core points that I'm going to talk about in a second, which hopefully will make you successful. Okay, so first thing we need to consider is ball placement and run-up. Now, a lot of people say that you have to strike the ball on the valve where you put the needle. I don't think it's entirely necessary. So as long as you place the ball somewhere where it's comfortable, that's absolutely fine. Now, your run-up, what I would suggest is your run-up to be straight on. So normally, if you were thinking about a free kick about 25 yards away, you'd come from a 45-degree angle to the ball. But what I want you to do is place the ball, think about where you're aiming, and take your run-up completely straight behind it. Okay, so the next thing we need to consider is where on our foot we want to be striking the ball. Now, if you think back to the clips that I showed you of the professionals, it does vary slightly. David Luiz likes to hit the ball very much with the inside of his foot here. Ronaldo likes to hit it slightly more towards his laces, still on the inside, just here. So what we need to think about is how we're going to approach the ball with that straight run up. When we get to the ball, we're going to place our standing foot next to the ball like we normally would, pointing in the direction that we want to go. And our foot is going to come through at an adjacent angle. So it's making a right angle between your 2 feet here. And we will be striking the ball, like I said, with just the inside of our laces there, or a little bit more of our instep. Okay, so here's where things get a little bit unusual to maybe what you already know. What we're trying to do is we're trying to strike through the middle of the ball. Now, normally, if you were striking a free kick from 25 yards, you'd be trying to strike underneath the ball to get the ball up and over the wall. However, we're going to try and strike through the middle of the ball. So if I show you here, so thinking about what we just learned in the last step, standing foot comes through, foot's coming through adjacent, very much like a ground pass, but what we're trying to do is hit upwards through the ball. And what that does is either creates no spin or creates some slight top spin, which, as you can see in the David Luiz clip, helps him get that dip as well. Okay, so we've now been through the run-up, contact on your foot, and contact on the ball. So the final thing to think about is our follow-through. So again, it does vary slightly from maybe how you're used to striking the ball normally. What we want to do is, as we have struck the ball, we want to drive our knee forward. Yep, and we want to drive our knee forward because we've got to get the loft to get the ball initially over the wall. But then what we want to do is to try and shorten our follow through as much as we can. So the knee drives forward, but we want to try and stop that follow through. Now, normally if you're striking a ball, you'd have a big follow through that would go right through. But now, this time, you want to try and stop it to get what I would call a punchy motion on the ball. And the punchy motion is what limits the foot contact on the ball and will limit the spin, which hopefully will provide a bit of dip and swerve. Okay, so here's all four of those elements put together. Placement of the ball, straight run up, So the nature of the knuckleball means you can't always control what happens after you strike it. Sometimes it goes to plan, sometimes it definitely does not, as you can see here.
Found the crossbar, Steve.
Oh,
So much floor.
so hopefully guys, with a little bit of practice, you can get some successful shots that look a little bit like this. Okay guys, so hopefully those tips have helped you out. Get yourself down to the local park, take your phone with you, film you scoring some worldies. If you do, get them uploaded to Twitter, we'd love to have a look.